so much cooler in here. It feels so much cooler in here than it does in
I'm
this
Brady.
place.
Katie can't be here, so she just asked me to come. I'm friends with her, so she was like, hey, can you be me today?
She is friends with Kate, and she is a detective. Brandy's a detective that works with me. So she's here today to talk to you.
Just turn my phone off. Is your phone off?
I don't
have it.
Oh, okay, perfect. I know mine will start going crazy here.
That was a mean question because we have her phone.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, the other day.
Sorry.
No, the other day.
That
The
was
reason
not
I did that, I was talking to her dad, and I said, well, would you want me to call her directly on her phone, or do you want me to call you? And he said, don't you have her phone? I was like, oh my gosh, I feel a little bit silly.
What are you nervous about?
Yeah,
Yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot.
I mean, this is just like the other days, Skylar, as far as, I mean, I know you're super nervous, I understand, but just the way, Katie and I talked to you the other day, it's the same thing. So, I mean, I think if you look back to Friday, if you remember sitting here with us, there wasn't anything real bad, or we never started yelling at you, or anything like that. So it didn't do anything like threatening or menacing, so, and I understand that you're in there, but today's going to be just the same. Okay, we won't be here as long as we were the other day.
And I'll get to go home with my parents.
I'm sorry?
I'll get to go home with my parents.
I think so, yeah. So yeah, that's our plan. That's what I just told your dad. You remember when we were outside.
Just take some deep breaths and just try to, I know it's a hard situation, but just deep breaths. We've got some paperwork crap we have to do with everybody, and then we'll talk, but just deep breaths. And
then this is, oh, that's right, you didn't know your Social Security. This is just the,
no 18-year-olds know their Social Security, do they?
just the same thing that we did the other day. Are you still working right now?
Yeah.
Is it at the Y? And which one?
The atrium.
Oh, okay, the atrium stuff.
What do you do there?
I work in child watch.
What's your, like, are you in the infant room or the toddler room, or?
It's just called child watch. I watch everything from 6 weeks to 9 years old.
Okay, so you do it all in the thing. Okay.
Do I get to keep my job?
No, we were just asking where you work. It's just like a conversation. We're just trying to
we're
distract
talking
you from.
amongst ourselves earlier. Whether it was a Countryside, was it Springboro? We're down in Lebanon, so the Countryside. Was it Countryside, Springboro? Was it? July 20th.
How long have you been there?
Almost a year. I started working there in September of last year.
What's your favorite age?
Probably the older kids, like 6 to 9 years old.
Yeah. I like that age, but they whine a little too much for me.
They do.
So I like the a little bit older.
Brooke, we're going to do just like we did the other day. I mean, Skylar. I see Brooke sitting right there. Brooke, that is her, she goes by Skylar. I'll read these things out loud and then put your initial there if you can. It's the same exact form that we had the other day. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you in a court of law. You have the right to talk to a lawyer and have him present with you while you're being questioned. If you cannot afford to hire a lawyer, one will be appointed to represent you before questioning if you wish. You can decide at any time to exercise these rights and not answer any questions or make any statements. Okay, and if you will read this one and then you agree with it, sign. I'm not going to have you read it out loud because the other day you read it out loud. So if you just read that, but at least please read it, and then if you're okay with that, just sign your name on that first slide when you get done.
Do you want water or anything?
Okay, thank you.
I'm going to ask her just to make sure.
$7:20 is the date.
Did you graduate yet?
Mm-hmm.
She's going to UC, you're going to UC. She's going to go to UC.
Good school. Are you going to commute or are you going to live there?
Live there.
That would be fun.
Okay, like when you were first walking in, I said I was going to ask you how things going, but it's probably pretty rough. I mean, just waiting, or how's things with mom and dad?
Better.
Have you guys had a chance to talk, or?
Yeah, I've been talking to my mom a lot.
A lot. Okay. Are they doing okay? I mean, I know this is really hard for you, but it's hard for them as parents too. Do they seem like they're doing okay, or?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Do you think, do they have a better idea of what's gone on now since all of it happened? You've had a chance, and I'm just kind of curious. I mean, I kind of wondered for them, because I know they were just really hoping to get some answers the other day, and I was like, well, it'll be so much easier, you know, if you talk to Skylar, you know, and you guys just talk, and so what I will do right now is kind of tell you what we've been doing since I last saw you on Friday. That was Friday, right? Yeah, Friday. So, you know, we took phones and stuff, so we're doing like what I described to you, that analysis of the phones and stuff. But then also, the coroner's office has been working with the remains, with her remains to do their part of the investigation. Okay, and do you ever watch any shows like that where they show the forensic anthropology stuff? I mean, because a lot of people do now. And, you know, you see the stuff that they can do, and it is, like, unbelievable how, you know, they can do that stuff and just examine that stuff. So, and they're, like, medical doctors who've been going to school probably half as long as you've been alive. So they've been doing their part while we're doing our part. And so as a result of that, and then us having a lot of conversation with the two doctors primarily that have really been looking at her remains, we have some more questions. Okay.
Did you tell them to go ahead?
I'm sorry.
On scene? Did you text them?
Oh,
sorry.
No.
In our house.
No, we've got another situation going on down at the main office, and I just like popped in my head before we kind of got started to make sure that he told them to go ahead. He's like the only boss here.
You have Beheimers.
Yep. Can I tell him?
Yeah, can you?
He's the only boss this week, Skylar, so it becomes trying to make sure that everybody does what they're supposed to do. You know how that works at work, right? You got to make sure everybody's doing their job even when the boss isn't there. So he's our only boss because the other one's out of town.
Okay. Also, they've been doing their part, and we stay in close communication with them while they're doing it. You know, they do their investigation, but as a result of information that we're getting through the course of talking with them, like I said, we've got some more questions, and for lack of a better way to say it, we know there's some more that happened than what you shared the other day. Okay. And I'm just going to be honest, I don't know how to say it any other way than we know there was more that happened, okay, than what you and I talked about the other day. So having said that, let me go back and kind of just replay, just so we refresh what you and I talked about on Friday. You know, we talked about, and I'll just try to paraphrase, and you can correct me if I say something that you don't feel like it's what we said Friday, okay?
Take me away.
I'm sorry?
Are you guys going to take me away?
Well, wait a second, why would you say that? What?
I'm just so scared.
Okay. Well, but listen,
Just brief.
Just try to be calm.
We're just trying to find out what happened.
This is just like the other day. Remember, I kept telling you that I'm like, nothing real bad. We're not here for do anything bad like that or threaten you or hurt, and nothing like that. We're just trying to find out, you know, the truth for her. Remember, we talked about that, and you yourself was like, I knew she deserved better. I know she deserved better. So do we. Remember, so do we. I talked to you. I know you are a scared 18-year-old girl that until Friday you carried this on your own, you know, and we know that. And, you know, I mean, we talked a long time Friday, okay? And it never turned nasty or anything like that. It's not going to today, okay? But, you know, we talked about how May 7th, and you were really certain May 7th is the day, right, that you delivered her. And it was in the bathroom, sometime in the middle of the night because your parents were home and asleep. You delivered her in the bathroom. She wasn't breathing or anything. Her eyes didn't open. There was no heartbeat, and you checked. You pushed. You didn't want to push too hard because she was a brand new baby, but you pushed just to check, and there was no heartbeat. You held her for a little bit there, like on your lap, and then you wrapped her in a towel, and you went downstairs with her into the garage, got, maybe it's called like I'm just going to call it like your mom's garden shovel or something like that, and took her out and put her in that shallow grave right out in the back of the yard, and you didn't put the towel in there, you just put her in there and covered her up. Okay? Is that, does that sound right, like what we talked about Friday? Okay. Well, now where we are, obviously, you know, we were there a long time that day and everything, digging up her remains and everything. But now, after speaking with the doctors who have been doing this, you know, they've been working a lot of hours just with her remains, you know, just tiny bone by tiny bone and everything. And they have a lot of evidence that they have presented to us where they know now from a medically scientific certainty, they know there were other things that happened. So I want to know if you want to tell us, you know, more of the truth about what happened, because we know there was a lot more.
We just want to put her to rest. We want her, you know, and here's the thing, listen to me. I know that this is a terrible situation, okay? Just listen to me, okay? You are not the only 18-year-old girl who's been in this situation, that it was too late to have an abortion, and your entire life is about to be fucked, okay? So just breathe. But the important thing that matters is not me, not you, not him. What matters is her, okay? I think that you want to give her a proper burial and you want to give her a proper final resting situation, but in order to do that, we need to know everything, okay? You cannot go back and change anything that you did, but we can have it out there and we can just say it, okay? If you need to close your eyes to say it, if you need to whatever, but it's very important that you tell us everything that happened because the doctors already know, okay? They've already shared with us what happened. Now there's things we don't know, like why, or kind of what you were thinking, or, you know, what would push someone to feel like this was the only option, you know, that they... No, that's not what I'm saying. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is what happened when you decided that you were, before you buried her, okay? So all of those things we need to know, okay? They're going to be able to tell us medically what happened. So it's really important because I want to know why. I want to know, you know, did you feel like that was your only option? Did you feel like you had no choice? You know, so those are some things that we know, okay? We obviously know she was buried because we found her. And then there's things that they can tell from the tissue and stuff that's left, okay? So we know that some more things happened. I think you were trying to I don't know, maybe minimize what was there, make it easier, I don't know, but there were some other things that happened before she was put in the ground. So let's talk about that, okay?
The cord might have been wrapped around her neck a little.
Okay. When she came out or after?
Yeah.
Okay. So did you see it wrapped around the neck?
A little.
Okay.
Just
Like,
a little.
yeah, okay, so like it's around her neck. And what color was she when she came out?
Really white, I think.
Well, they're all white because they have that sticky, goopy stuff on them. What about like her fingers or whatever? Were they pink? Were they red? Were they... Okay, that's fine. Where was the cord? Like, was it here? Was it on the side? Was it wrapped all the way around her?
Maybe just a little around her.
Okay. And what did you do? You tried to get off but couldn't?
Just a little, yeah.
Okay, it just wouldn't come off? Okay. Is it possible that she maybe breathed a little bit? Like maybe, you know, before...
Maybe.
Okay. So you tried to get the cord off and couldn't? So was there a time, because I've had a baby, he has not, but I have. So there's not just the baby that comes out, there's a whole lot of other crap that comes out. So is it possible that, because you were on the toilet when you had her? Okay,
Yeah.
Is it possible that she went down in the toilet for a second?
Yeah.
Okay.
I tried to catch her, but I couldn't.
There's no way you can, she's too slippery, you can't catch her.
I was just on the other end a little.
Okay. Okay, so were you sitting on the toilet, were you squatting over it, or?
I was sitting on the toilet.
Okay, so she falls in, and are you like in shock? Like, I mean, I would be in shock if this thing just came out of me in the toilet. So how long do you think she was in the water? 5 minutes, 2 minutes?
Maybe 2 minutes, maybe.
Okay. Was she moving at all?
I don't
Like a little kick or anything?
Okay.
Well, it's probably hard to look at. So when did you notice the cord was around her neck after you saw her in the toilet or before?
Everything just came out at once, maybe just a little.
So it's...
Was she, I'm sorry, I guess she was probably head first into the toilet because she would have came out. So like, how did she look as you looked down in the toilet and saw her? I mean, did you, I'm assuming there was water, probably the normal amount of water in the toilet. So do you know, was her head part under the water?
I don't think so.
Okay. How did she look as you looked down into the toilet?
Did you not look at her? I mean, I don't know.
I kind of just, I got a little good. Okay.
Were there, like, bubbles or anything? Sometimes there's, like, bubbles. Like, did you remember seeing any people looking at her face? And was her face in the water or, like, to the side, or was it not? If you remember. Okay. But she was head first. When you said maybe she hit her head, did you hear something that maybe made you think
Well,
that?
she just plunked out.
Yeah, they come out pretty fast, especially when you're young.
So I think she did hit her head.
Okay.
I mean, I wanted to catch her.
You can't. They're too slippery. Even, like, I don't know how doctors
Doctors have the hardest, they have the hardest time too. Even
Yeah.
doctors who are there waiting, they still have the hardest
They're
time.
covered in that goo. Okay. So maybe she was breathing. She left in the toilet for a couple minutes. And if I say something wrong, correct me. Don't. And then did you, like, walk away? Did you kind of stay in the bathroom and think, what am I going to do now? What did you do?
I kind of didn't really know.
Yeah.
I was bleeding so much.
A lot of blood. What about the placenta? The big, like, it looks like a big thing of meat. What did you do with that?
A little after.
Okay. And what did you do with that?
I buried it with her.
Okay. Okay. Did the placenta go in the toilet, like, on top of her, or?
A little after she was out.
Okay. So you see she's in the toilet for a couple minutes. What do you do after she's in the toilet for a couple minutes? What do you do with her?
I put her in the towel.
Okay. Okay. And then what?
Did you hold her too tight?
Do you feel like she was breathing when you were holding her and you held her too tight? Okay.
When you, so can you describe for me, like, taking her out of the toilet? Like, how did you take her out? Because you put her in the towel. How did you take her out of the, right, I feel your hands, like, did you, I mean, are you being careful because it's a baby, or do you remember, like, where you left her? Did you try to get, like, her neck? You know, I'm just picturing her head first, and are you trying to reach in, or?
I tried to do it carefully with my hand.
Okay. And again, we're just trying to ask, because we weren't there, we're just trying to picture, you know, exactly.
I just wanted to be
How-
rest.
everything.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, nobody really fully, I think, rests in peace unless, you know exactly what happened. And if you watch any of those shows like I do, you see people like 20 years later, family members are trying to find out what happened so that they can be at rest and so can their family member that died. So that's all we're trying to do, find out what happened so that we can put the medical stuff with, you know, what happened. And that's only going to come from you, Skylar. If nobody else was there, you were all alone. I mean, I know your parents were the next room, but you were all alone. It was just you and her. So you're the only one that can tell us that. She can't, okay? So you need to do the right thing right now and just tell us everything that happened, even if it sucks to say it. Just tell us everything that happened and we can move on, okay?
You know, and Brandy and I, we talked to so many people that after the fact, you know, they're like, that feeling once they finally tell the truth and get it out, because I bet it has probably bothered you some, because I can tell that you care. It bothered you some since Friday, since we talked, you know, since you knew I didn't get the truth, and you still had to carry that weight with you. So like Brandy said, let's start there. So now you have picked her out from the toilet and you wrapped her in a towel and held her easily, and just be truthful now. Let's go from there and go with the rest.
But listen, you said
hard.
you said something really interesting. You said, I think maybe I held her too tight. Tell me what that means.
I didn't think she was breathing, and I think I squeezed her too hard.
Okay.
But it was because I was
I know. It's okay. It's okay. You can't. It's okay. You were
I
trying.
think that was a kill her.
Okay. Okay.
I think I killed her. I think I killed her on purpose.
No one said, Skylar, no one believes that.
Just squeezed her.
Skylar,
I loved her.
no one believes that you would do anything to her on purpose. No one believes it.
I'm
Okay?
gonna go kill.
Listen to me.
Wait, sweetheart, we are just.
Those are not questions we can answer for you right now.
We're in the same place. We just are still, you know, you're talking about a lot of the different stuff that the doc. So we're just still trying to do right by her. We're so focused, like Brandy said, it's not me or you or
Did you name her
Brandy
yet?
that's important.
What's her name?
Annabelle.
Annabelle. Okay, so let's not call her Annabelle.
Okay.
All right, so it's about Annabelle, okay? You can't change. You can't go back and change anything. I don't have a magic wand, okay?
I'm so sorry.
Let's just keep what happened, and then it'll all be out and we'll be done, okay?
Can I go home with my parents?
I can't answer that for you right now, okay? Well, I don't know what all happened. I haven't finished talking to you, okay? All right, so you think you squeezed her too hard, so she's... And I feel like when you say that, maybe you thought she was breathing before and you didn't mean to. I don't think you meant to, but you squeezed her too hard. Okay. How long do you think you were squeezing her?
A little bit.
Okay.
A little bit.
What makes you think you squeezed her too hard? Like, what makes you think that, looking back now? Not then, but looking back now.
Because I squeezed hard. I did, like, not so hard, but just, like, I just want her to go.
Okay. You think that's when she died?
Maybe.
Okay. Do you think maybe she could have been in the toilet, or?
Yeah, maybe, because I was spotting.
Yeah.
In April.
Okay.
Early April, I was spotting.
Okay. Okay. But you don't have any health issues, right? You're pretty healthy. Yeah. You're 18, so, okay. So, did she look pretty healthy? I mean, you've probably seen babies before. She looked pretty healthy?
Kind of big.
Yeah, well, yeah. That's pretty healthy. I think that that's a good thing when babies look bigger than you expect them to. You're not a smoker, right?
No.
Okay, that's good. Because she was tiny, that would have meant you smoking. So you think maybe that's when it happens, and then, so you're squeezing her, and then do you realize that that's when she's, like, not alive, or when do you think?
I didn't think she was alive before.
Okay, okay. So what'd you do after you were squeezing her, and then what'd you do?
I buried.
Okay, but before that? Tell me about the fire.
What fire?
Well, there's some evidence to show that there was some burning on her.
Didn't burn her. I promise on anything I didn't burn her. My dad has lots of bonfires, but I didn't burn her.
There was some charring and stuff on some of her bones, so.
I didn't burn her.
Are you sure?
I swear on anything.
You're sure?
That I'm sure of. I'm sure of.
You didn't, like, did you burn anything around her? Did you try to, like maybe, like, melt the dirt or anything?
No.
Was there any reason for any of that?
No.
Was there any, I know you said the other day there was no one else that knew or involved or anything, but was there anyone else? I mean, now that you're telling us more truth, you're telling us a lot more truth today. Is there someone else that knew this or helped you this day or anything?
No, and I did nothing with fire. Nothing.
Is it possible originally you put her in the fire pit before you...
No.
I don't mean with a lit fire, but I mean put her in the fire pit.
No. What about, okay, maybe not fire, like, what about, like, some other heat source? Was there any heat involved in anything? This was been after she was dead, so it's not like...
No.
No microwaves, no oven, no nothing. Like, just,
No.
there's basically her bones have, not all of them, but some of them have some charring, which means that there was some burning. That's what we're trying to figure out. Yeah. And there's nobody else involved, and there's no one else that knew about this, and you were all alone, unfortunately. Well, that's what we're trying to figure out. I think there's an explanation for what happened with the something. I think there's some sort of way that we can figure out what happened with something, because, that doesn't just happen, that your bones get like that. So, and from all accounts, she looked like a pretty healthy, normal baby from what you're saying. So I don't think, there's just no way it would just happen. So I was thinking maybe you were just trying to kind of get rid of something, or I don't know. But, I mean, you buried her. It's not like you just threw her in the trash. So that's good.
No,
Anything that you can think of, like anything at all? Because, again, you were in shock, I'm sure. It was a terrible, terrible night. You were all alone. Just think about if there was anything that could explain that. Because that's the medical fact. I'm not just telling you that. I'm not, just making it up. I mean, something happened with some fire or some heat source. So we have to think about maybe you were out of your mind. I don't know. Something happened. But there was something with a fire.
And Skylar, we're not... You're so close, and all we want is just the truth. And the reason that Brandy's asking that question, and the only reason, is because there is forensic medical evidence where they have been through. There are some bones, like she said, not all of them, but there's some different vertebrae and some rib and stuff that is charred. And then there was some fatty tissue that has burn on one side and not the other. So the doctors know that there was fire of some sort or some kind of burning. They know for certain. And no matter what you tell us, we're never going to, like, all of a sudden judge you or jump off and say you're going to, we're not doing any of that, but there's still a lot more that we don't know that we just want. You're so close. Just give us all the truth that's
And I've
left.
given you all the truth. I told you about squeeze the trigger. I think that it might have come up, but that I
think it's not on our face, it's not on our upper body, it's all like lower body. So I wonder if maybe it just was one of those things where you just thought, well, maybe I can do this, and because I think like a cremation, like I'm gonna have some ashes that I can keep of my daughter and keep those, and then you realize it wasn't a good idea because you're a good person. That's what I think happened, because there is some charring, but it's not all of the bones, and I think you decided, okay, this isn't a good idea. This isn't what I want to do. This is what I want for my daughter.
Annabelle was better, and then you just took her. And
that's what I think happened, because her entire body's not burned. It's not like it's some horrific thing. Yeah, there was some sort of fire or some sort of heat or something. And like I said, I don't think that you just threw her in a fire. That's not what I'm saying. I don't believe that you would do that. I think there was some sort of attempt, and then you were like, oh gosh, this isn't what I want for my daughter, and then it stopped.
at this point, I would tell you.
I just gotta know why there was fire.
The towel is black.
This is actually like the bone doctor basically has said that there's charring on the bones, yeah. Did you maybe put them, like after she was in the ground, like maybe some fire there, or some...
I took flowers from the fire pit.
But that wouldn't burn the bones unless they were on fire.
Not that. You're so close, Skylar.
We know there was some sort of fire. I know it's...
And I understand that.
And I know the other day you're like, I just wanted to do right by her. I wanted to do right by her. Well, we have a friend, we have these bracelets on that say 822. He was one of our best friends who was killed, and, he was cremated because that is a very acceptable, and that's what when I first heard this, I wondered, well, maybe she was going to try to cremate her because that's very acceptable, that's normal, it's in the Bible, ashes to ashes, dust to dust, and we're cremated to get back to ashes, to get back to the original form we were created from.
Keep it with you.
And I know Annabelle was important to you, so you wanted to do it right, but then maybe it didn't feel right, so you're like, I can't do this, and then that would make sense why just part of it was in one side, so you take her back, and then you take her back where you can give her a more standard burial with flowers, but Skylar, we need you because the evidence tells us what the truth is, but you're the only one that can take us through it, and give us the why. The evidence tells us what happened, but we don't know what is the why, and you're the only one that can provide that, because even though it was hard, we both know, Brandy already, I can tell, knows from spending a little bit of time with you. I've talked to you 2 times now that you, in the end, you're just trying to do the right thing by Annabelle, because I can tell you immediately loved her, so you're trying to do the right thing, but now the way to finish the right thing is just help us, get us all the way to the truth, let it go. Let this off of your shoulders. We know what happened, so please just share the truth with us and help us understand it. Okay?
And we know it wasn't this horrifically weird, thing that you might have seen on some Lifetime movie that you guys like to watch, but this is a thing where I truly believe that there was an attempt maybe for cremation, because if you cremate someone, they have ashes. I have my mom's ashes. I like to keep them close to me. It's very important to me to have those. It makes me feel like she's still here, kind of. So, I know you put her in the backyard, so she would be close to you, but, ashes, you can carry around. So that's kind of where my thinking is, but we already know that there was some sort of heat, fire element. I don't know what happened. I wasn't there, but I know there was, because the bones were charred, and it wasn't something that, someone else could have done, because no one else knew she was there except you. And you've had to carry this all by yourself this whole time and do it all yourself with no help. So, don't think that we're going to judge you. Don't think that we're going to think you're some horrible person. I think I know where your heart and mind were, with the fire or whatever it was. I think I know where your heart and mind were, but you have to tell us, because I can't assume that I know you that well. But there, the evidence is there. There's no other explanation. It's not some self-combustion that doesn't really happen, except on Mythbusters. So we just need to know what happened, again, so that we can put her at rest. We can give her that final, we know everything that happened. We know, in what order it happened, and we can just put her at rest, give her a proper memorial. You guys can do all of those sorts of things.
I get to.
Well, I would assume your family is going to want to plan something when they get her back, but we can't release her till we know everything. So we have to kind of, this is the last mystery to solve is these charred bones, to know exactly what happened. I mean, I think I know, but I don't know everything. So we need you to tell us you were there. You know, it's not a judgment, Skylar. It's not anybody looking at you. It's literally you and Annabelle, and you're trying to do the right thing and fix whatever you can fix at that point in time. So no one's judging whatever you chose to do then. Okay, we just need to know what happened with the fire. That's all. Okay. We just gotta spit it out. No one's judging you. You gotta tell me. I don't want to put words in your mouth, Skylar. I don't want you to, I think I know based on what I know of you so far, but I want you to tell me everything that happened and everything that was going through your mind so that I can understand. You know? I want to hear it from you. So you're holding her, squeezing her. What happens right after that? Okay, just kind of walk me through, like, everything. So you're holding her, you squeeze her, and then what are you thinking? Just kind of like just close your eyes, put yourself back there, and just walk me through it like I was there. I want to feel like I was there with you to know what happened.
I'm sorry.
Do I get to go home with my parents today?
I think so.
We don't know what happened. We can't answer that. We have to finish talking to you.
I still, we're still just, you're so close. We're still just waiting to hear I guess all I can think about right now is Annabelle. You know, I can just think about her remains just still being sifted through by doctors, and I think about your dad already contacting me, asking could he have her remains so you guys can do a burial. And I feel awful, but none of that can happen because the investigation just keeps going and going because we don't have the truth yet. And it can be weeks, for them to just keep going on and on and on. And yet I feel like you have the ability to give us the truth so quickly to solve those questions. And I want that to happen. I want to get her remains released. I mean, I guess I should say I want to get her. I think of it more as her. I want to get her released so your family can do what they want to do. Your dad is very sincere. I talked to him 2 days ago, and he's really just hoping they want to do that so badly. And I want it for you guys.
And there's so many questions, Skylar, that we can't answer until we know everything. Honestly, we aren't our own bosses. We have bosses. We have all kinds of people that we have to report to. So I can't get an answer to any of those questions for you or anything about Annabelle until we know everything. Because we have to know not just what happened, but why. What were you thinking? What was in your mind? What was kind of, going through your head? All of those things are important things to know. And so I can't honestly answer those questions for you until we know what happened. We know medically what happened, but there's a big difference, I think you would agree, between someone throwing someone in a fire and someone having a reason and some sort of justification for why that happened. Does that make sense? Okay, that's what, I know you keep asking that question, and I honestly, if I knew the answer, I would tell you, but I don't, because I don't know everything. I have medical information, and then I have a little bit from you, and I have this huge kind of hole in the middle, and that's all I've got. So I don't ever want to lie to anyone, and I don't ever want to tell you something that's not true, so I can't answer that right now until I know everything that happened, okay? But right now, it's about Annabelle. It's not about me, it's not about you, it's not about him. It's about Annabelle and knowing what happened, and knowing that someone just didn't throw her in a fire and then, that sort of thing. I don't think that's what happened. Just walk me through. You're squeezing her, just walk me through everything. Tell me everything that you were thinking and everything you did, just so I know, like I was there.
I thought I was crazy, but
Where'd you put her?
In the valley.
No, I mean, like, before the lighter, where was she? Okay, and then what?
Grab the shovel.
Okay. Okay, well, so was she, so you're holding her, and then you grab the shovel and the lighter. Was it like one of those camping lighters, or was it just like a cigarette lighter?
Just like the lighter we have in my house.
Like a clicker with a long thing?
Like the long one you go.
Yeah.
Okay. So where do you take her to try to cremate her?
Just like the I think.
You think? Trying to remember, like, where?
Yeah, she was in there.
In the hole? So you dug the hole first? Okay. And then you put her in the hole? Okay, and then what'd you do? Okay, where did you put the... It's all right, look. It is what it is. You can't change it, Skylar.
We're not.
You're just...
So scared I'm just gonna pray to this.
You are telling us what happened. Nothing's going to change what happened, okay? But your intention was to try to cremate her. So what part did you try to light?
I guess I just...
Part of the remains, like, did you start, like, at the bottom, at the top? Okay.
Did you have anything else or use anything to help try to light it? You know, because usually crematoriums, there's things that make it intense and make the fire to help the process. You didn't have anything to, like any kind of lighter fluid or gasoline or anything to try to, something to try to help light to help? I'm sorry?
No.
You didn't?
So just, like, the lighter on, like, the feet or something?
Yeah.
I don't want to put words in your mouth, but, like, feet, legs, I mean, you didn't put it on her face. I mean, so, I mean...
And her, the towel was not on then, right? Or I know the other day you said it wasn't when you put her to ground, but, so the towel was not on. I just want to make sure that's still, okay.
And then, did the remains ever catch fire? Like, was there an actual fire?
Maybe.
Okay.
Maybe. Well,
A little bush.
Like some leaves? Okay.
was it dark outside or was it daytime?
Dark.
It was dark, okay.
I think it was like in the night.
Okay. And are you telling us the truth when you say this took place right in the same hole where you buried her?
Yeah.
Okay.
Is it?
And I'm just asking just to be sure. I know you came out. I mean, like I said, you've been cooperative with me. Remember, you came out Friday and showed us exactly where she was and everything. So, you know, which helped us, and it helped get her quicker. So it helped Annabelle. See, everything you do, every time you tell us the truth, it continues to help her. Because, like Brandy said, it fills in this hole and just keeps making it smaller. And then we're going to get it all the way close, and we're going to get her, you know, back to your family where she belongs. So there can be a real, you know, true burial where she's honored. And like you said the other day, you're crying hard Friday. You're like, she deserves better. She deserves better. You're right, she does, and she's about to get, you know, she's about to get better. Like she deserves better than being in a lab with doctors, you know, just searching and sifting and poking and everything. You know, now we're getting the truth from you, so we can be done with all that. And can you? So, how big would you describe the fire? Would you say big? Would you say small? Was it tall? Like?
Yeah, I don't remember.
How far up did it go? Like, was it like shin? I know baby legs are super little, but like, was it like this much? Like, you know, if you want to use your forearm, was it like this far up? Was it this far up? Do you know how far up the fire went? Okay. What about to her, like, chest area, stomach?
Maybe. I'm going to try to get it out.
What made you decide you wanted to get it out?
It just felt weird.
Was she moving at that point or making any?
No.
Okay. So there wasn't any noise or anything. It was just okay. All right.
So when you tried to get it out, what did you do? How did you try to put it out?
You didn't get burned, did you?
No.
Yeah, just like she would like try to get the flames down, or
Yeah. just get it all, like, leave.
Okay, and just try to do it quickly, like you changed your mind, you said it felt wrong, so you tried to change your mind, and, okay, which we understand, and I can see that being a natural reaction. You didn't feel like it was right for. Were you successful? I mean, once you were doing that, were you able to put the fire out? Or did you have to go get water or anything to help you? Because a lot of times it's hard to get a fire out even with just dirt.
Sure, you're able to get it out before it reached your face. Maybe. How long, let me just ask you this, because I know cremation takes a while. How long do you think, once you kind of started the fire, how long do you think that it went on before you put it out? Like 10, 20, 30 minutes? I know you're out there in the dark and you're probably still in shock a little bit and all of that, but...
And not exactly, even you won't know exactly, just a minute, 2 minutes, 45 seconds, 3 minutes, just...
30 minutes. So at some point, let me ask you this, what made you, I know you said you thought it was wrong, what made you, okay, I gotta put this out? Was it some other thought, like, I don't know, was it as it was getting closer to her face, or was it just, you know, the smell, or was there another thing that just kind of made you realize I shouldn't do this? You just felt like it was wrong.
What about were you not concerned? I mean, just because, like, it's a beautiful place where you live, and I know it's kind of big, but it's open. What about someone seeing it? Were you worried about someone seeing a fire back there at that time of the night? And
That was not what I was thinking about.
I mean, and I understand why I asked that, because that would be understandable if that was true, you know, because that's why I said earlier, if it was dark, that's going to draw attention, and it's going to make you worry about someone coming out, and which if you feel like you're maybe doing something wrong, you know, you're not going to want someone to walk out, and so you're able to get all the flames out, right? You were able to do that? Okay. And just are you sure you didn't use anything, any water or anything, or you just got them out by using dirt? Okay, using the dirt. What do you do next?
Put the top kind of on top of that.
Which is a pot that was there when we went out.
Then what do you do for yourself? Like, what do you, I mean, at this point you've been through a lot, so what do you do? What do you do? Is that where you put it in the trash can thing outside? Okay. And you said you buried the placenta too, right? Did you put that in, what order did you put that in versus her?
After.
Okay, so was it after the fire or with the fire? Just so I could kind of have an idea if that was in there or not. It's kind of a weird thing to carry around. Like, it's an odd matter. Or was it, let me ask you this, was it still attached? Like, did you cut the cord?
The cord came out. I didn't cut anything.
Okay. You didn't cut the cord from her?
No.
Because the cord's attached, was it still attached to the placenta? Remember?
No.
Okay.
I don't remember. I might have put it first.
Okay. Usually the cord is attached to the baby, and then it's attached to the placenta, which is inside of you, but it comes out after birth. So usually it's still attached. So like when babies are born, they cut the cord, you know, so that the baby can be separate from the placenta. Did you ever cut it? So it still would have been attached then to her.
Okay. I don't think it was attached to it.
Okay. So you've maybe put the placenta in before, but you're not sure. Okay. So that may have burned as well. Okay. So let me just ask you this really important question, okay? Because it's really important. I mean, you've already told us most of it, okay? Just listen to me. At what point, I feel like, you know, you're a mom now. You've had a kid. I mean, she didn't make it, but you've had a kid. So you have that kind of intuition. At what point do you feel like she stopped breathing? Was it in the toilet? When you were squeezing her?
I didn't think she was breathing when she came out.
Okay, what made you think that? Do you see like her little chest rise even once?
I didn't get what I was looking at.
A gurgle sound, or could, you know, this is important because I know you're telling us a lot of truth now, but it's been really hard to get to the truth, you know, and like when we first asked you about the fire, you know, that was just based on, not because we were there, but just based on all the evidence that the doctors gave us. When we first said that, you know, you leaned back and you're like, oh my gosh, no way. But then as it turns out, you know, you decided, okay, I'm just gonna tell them that. So, you know, and this is Annabelle. She was a good size. I mean, she was a good size little girl. You're a healthy girl. You know, and from what it sounds like, you had a regular labor. If there's such thing as a regular labor, it sounds like in / delivery. Sounds like you kind of had a regular one, and you seem sincere, like you felt like you might have made her stop breathing, or you said you felt guilty because you felt like you might have accidentally killed her when you squeezed her so hard.
That's why I was asking you why.
The only way you're going to feel like you accidentally did that is if you had some reason to know she was alive before that. You see what I'm
The way you guys were saying, like,
I'm saying?
Like, if anything, maybe, I just maybe second guess myself.
No, I said, like, what we were just saying is we were just trying to figure out what happened, and you said, I mean, you got really upset and really kind of broke down. You said, I feel like I killed her when I was squeezing her. That's different.
I just didn't, like, there was so much I didn't do. I could have done it. I didn't pay attention to.
Like what? What do you feel like? I mean, looking back, you can't change it, but looking back, what do you feel like you should have done?
I stared at her.
Maybe got her out of the toilet faster.
That's what I was gonna ask Skylar. What was it? I mean, I know this pregnancy wasn't what you planned or anything, but I also know, I think as of you being a mom, I think you basically I feel like you kind of fell in love with Annabelle right when you saw her. I feel that. Never been a mom, but I do know I don't think there's a stronger bond in the whole world than there is between a mother and their children, boy or girl, whichever they have. So
you owe that to her.
I think you immediately fell in love with her, and you know you made us, or you said you're worried that you accidentally did something, and there's so many more things you could have done. You're just holding something back. You know, I think that, I don't know if you heard her cry. I don't know if she whimpered, but there's something that you're holding back for whatever reason, and you're so close, and it's kind of like the fire, because it's so hard to say. We don't think, and I think I can speak for both of us, I don't think you killed her, but I think you had signs that she wasn't alive, at least just a little bit, you know, but I don't think you killed her. But I believe that, based on everything and talking to you, and I just believe that there are signs that she was alive at first. And then I don't think you tried to kill her, but I think there were signs that she was, and I want you to, please, for her, just tell us what those were. How did you know at first, you know, that she was probably alive just a little bit?
Maybe I saw a large chest when I was cleaning up, and I don't know if I...
And I'm not trying to get you to say maybes or anything, just please share the truth with us. Skylar, you're so close, and you were so sincere when you were worried that you did something accidental. We all three know you didn't do anything on purpose, but I know you were so sincere. Like, one thing, Skylar, I mean, we talk to so many people, and if you could see yourself from across here, there's certain things when you do, like when you got to that part, just your facial expression was so that you were so sincere, like you truly felt awful, like you did something, but you knew you didn't do it on purpose, so those feelings were genuine. But what that also tells me for 100% sure, I know that somehow you know she was alive, like before that, and that's why you're worried you didn't do something that could have helped.
Well, I think she made a noise.
Made a noise? What kind of noise?
Maybe a little noise, a girl, but I didn't know if it was something else, or like a... And then I didn't hear another one.
And then another one? Okay, which is natural, because that's what, I mean, again, I'm not a mom, but I've been in the delivery room for 4 of them, and there's like kind of a gurgle sound, and the doctors will suction out, you know, that's,
I didn't hear it again.
I'm sorry?
And I didn't hear it again.
Okay.
Was that, like, when she was in the toilet, or was that when you were sleeping?
I think. No, that was when she was in the toilet.
You heard, like, one gurgle and then not another sound.
I thought she said, you thought you heard maybe one more gurgle?
No, I said I didn't hear
Oh, you didn't
I
hear
don't
it.
think.
Just the one.
Okay. What else made you think that at first she was alive? Besides the gurgle sound, tell us about, because one thing babies will do is I know, even as they're getting ready to do that suction, like the second when they first come out, you know, their arms, sometimes they're kind of like this, or they don't know what.
She might have moved, but I didn't look right away. I was like in shock. I
I understand.
Yeah, a baby just fell out of you. I mean, but
That would be
quite
shocking.
shocking.
You're doing this by yourself in your bathroom. Your parents are home. But when you did finally look, what else were you able to see or hear? Did you see an arm, either arm move or both arms move at some point when you did look? It's okay. We're just trying to get, I'm just trying to know, I want to be able to tell the doctor what all signs you saw, how you know the baby was alive just a little bit, the Annabelle was alive a little bit. I'm just trying to help that.
I saw her arms maybe a little bit moving along.
was that also when she was in the toilet, or was that?
Yeah, I think get a picture of it.
What about legs? Because I guess they would have been the closest part.
Maybe, but maybe she was squished up.
Oh, okay. And when you say maybe, what does that mean? Because we're not trying to put words in your mouth, Skylar, at all. I know that you made it clear that she was alive at first.
I mean, you know what happened. I mean, you just have to say
See,
it.
it's okay. Like I told you, nothing changes. Every time you tell us the truth, nothing is changing, you know?
Yeah, I just wasn't really ready for it to be over.
I
I'm not going to jail.
Dear, I know you are so ready, and what's doing is you're finding it. Think about all the truth you've told today compared to where we were last Friday, okay?
Think about how proud Annabelle would be to have you as a mom for being honest about what happened.
It's okay.
What did you say? Do you think that leaving her in the toilet is what stopped her breathing? Because I know before you said you thought it was when you squeezed her, but
Yeah, I don't know. I just needed it.
Or when you got her out of the toilet, I guess the way we'll know that, Skylar, is when you got her out of the toilet, did you still have more signs, and then that's what made you think the squeezing did it, or? Well, no,
I just didn't think I saw a heartbeat.
right, and I can understand that, and it's like a kind of a shallow, but a brand new baby's heartbeat is kind of different, and they're so tiny you're not gonna feel on her wrist or anything, but when I would think, especially when you did get her out of the toilet, you know, you got her more upright and there was no water and everything, that then especially you may or may not get a gurgle sound. I would think you would probably have some movement then, or feel her like squirm a little bit as you hold her.
if she was still alive then, that's what we're just trying to figure out, was it, her in the toilet, that's when it happened, or, because I know you said you heard the gurgle in the toilet and then you didn't hear any more.
No, I don't think, no, unless I didn't hear like a towel holding her.
At what point, because there's always that defining moment, at what moment did you know that she was gone? Because you can just, people kind of turn different colors and you can tell. You just didn't look at her. Okay. That's a very honest answer, Skylar. Did you look at her, did you ever look at her face, or just, was that something you were trying to avoid?
Do you, can you remember, do you know if she had any hair? She did, okay. Because some, some babies have a lot, some just some fuzz, and some have none, and so do you think that she did? Okay. What color was it? Just dark. Okay. It's okay.
Just breathe. I don't know if they're still here, if they ran to do something to drink or not.
I think they were just going away. I think
it's
they
going to
were.
be like speedy freeze or something. No, she just drank speedy freeze.
In her face, could you tell, like, in her face, did she look like you? Did she? Sometimes it's hard to tell with babies because they kind of just look like themselves, but then, did you feel like she looked like you when you saw her face? Or like one of your parents or anything like that?
So, probably, well, not probably, what I'm hearing you say, and please correct me if I'm wrong, is there was no movement or signs of life after the toilet that you remember? Well, you're not a doctor. I don't expect you to be able to,
Yeah.
I just wanted to be clear about, at what point you thought she was gone. That's all. I just wanted to kind of know for her.
Let's ask it this way, Skylar. How long, and again, I don't expect you to know exactly, but how long do you think that she was alive? Like just your closest guess. I mean, I know you're not sure how long she was in the toilet, but how long would be your closest guess how long she was alive?
It's a lot. It's a lot to do with a team of doctors around you, let alone by yourself, so I get it. Just try to think so that we have an idea of how long she was alive. And I know you said earlier you thought maybe, and we're not holding you to it, Sarah, but maybe she was in the toilet a couple minutes while you were kind of freaking out. Okay, that's all right. Okay. Just breathe. You gotta keep breathing. Yeah, deep breath.
Yeah.
Are we almost done?
I think so. Yeah, we're
Do
getting
you
close.
want some water now? Do you want some water or something to drink?
This is where we're at. This is the last thing, Scott. When I say this, we're at this point is the last part because it's we're just trying to figure out now. This is a lot like how long she was alive. We know that you had some indications that she was, and we also believe that you did not do it. And I don't know. Babies are born and unfortunately die shortly after they're born. It happens literally every day. And I hate saying that, but that literally happens every single day. And I'm just trying to get a close idea. Do we think it was 2 minutes? Do we think it was 5 minutes? Do we think it was 10 minutes? And it doesn't change things if it was 5 minutes or 10 minutes or 20 minutes or 30 minutes.
5 minutes that she was alive or 5 minutes that she was in the toilet?
Maybe she's alive.
Was she ever loud enough that you were worried maybe somebody might hear? She wasn't loud enough to. You don't think she was, or? Because I know in the house you're upstairs, you're in the bathroom, and it could, the rooms are kind of close. Did she cry? Because if she was alive that long, I would definitely expect she would cry at least a little bit. I wasn't there, but it would be very natural if she would cry. And I think you would know that because moms, they're more sensitive to their babies crying than anyone, and this is Annabelle, and you're her mom, and I just, Did you hear her cry?
Maybe a little bit. Sam was on. I didn't know if I heard right.
It's okay. It's okay. I mean,
I'm just a girl.
yeah. You didn't kill her, and now we're just trying to get the truth so we can bring her home. Okay? And we've told you so many times. We're not trying to be mean to you or judge you. We're not. And we won't. No matter what you say, it's not going to happen. No matter. We have both been doing this for so long. We're both parents of kids older than you.
Mm-hmm.
We're neither one going to all of a sudden become something different. So, no matter what you say, but you know, we love children, even children we've never met. You know, so we're just in the same situation, I think, where your parents are, and I can tell now, Brian, that you are just wanting to get all the truth out for Annabelle. You know, because like you said, right, she deserves it more than anything. She deserves it more than anything. When you, is that what made you worry about the squeezing? I would assume, was the crying that you heard, was that before you squeezed? Did you hear any crying after? Or did you hear any?
A little crying.
Little crying?
Maybe just a little crying.
Okay.
Was that in the toilet or outside?
On the toilet.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
You've been pretty consistent about the fact that the only noise you really heard was when she was in the toilet. Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay. And the only movement you saw was when she was in the toilet. I don't think she's straight from that. I know you were worried about squeezing her and holding her, but the only noise you heard her make was in the toilet. Is that right? Okay. Is there anything else that we need to know, or that we need to know about Annabelle, or that Annabelle needs to know from you? Anything else you can think of? I know. You're her mom, so anything else that you feel like you need to say, or feel like you need to bring forth for Annabelle, tell us. I'm not going to judge you, obviously. You feel like you've told us what's going on?
Second, okay.
You feel like we know everything? I don't know what's going to happen. That is not up to us, okay? I don't know. Do you feel like, you keep saying that, do you feel like you should be?
I don't think you should. You're right.
I don't know what's going to happen, because those are decisions I can't make, because that's not what I do. But I will tell you that, you know, you being honest with us here today and cooperative and telling us what happened for Annabelle, that's what matters, okay? I don't control the future. I don't know what's going to happen to you. I know that, you know, you're a young girl, and you've got your whole future ahead of you. You just need to think about Annabelle, okay? And be proud of yourself for being honest today, because a lot of people would have lied, you know? A lot of people that don't care about their kids would have lied, okay? Obviously, because you were honest. Okay? You obviously care about Annabelle. You're worried about, you know, her resting, and you're worried about her. So this will help the doctors get everything processed, and then we can get the remains back to your family, and then you guys can plan whatever you guys want to do. What do they want to do? They want to do a funeral? They want to do... Okay. What do your parents want to do? Sure. We're just waiting for him to come back, and then, like I said, I think we're the only ones here. I don't know if there's anybody else here, so we have to just wait for him to come back. So I think they were in Speedway. They said they were going to get something, but I don't know. So, actually, my phone was on the floor while we were talking. I'm sure you heard it buzzing like crazy. Let's see. I heard the phone going nuts, but hell, that could be anything. What kind of schedule do you work at the Y? Do you work like full time?
No.
Oh, okay.
2 days a week.
Oh, that's okay. Like how many hours?
4 at a time.
Oh, that's okay. How was like recovering from the birth? Was that hard? I know there's a lot of bleeding. Lots and lots of bleeding. Do you have any complications? Are you worried about anything with your body or anything? Feel okay? You don't feel like you need to see a doctor? Have you seen a doctor since? Do you feel like you need to, just to get checked out? Make sure you're okay. I know when I had a kid, I was 21. I felt like my entire insides were falling out, so I'm glad I saw a doctor. That might be what he's doing, I'm not sure. He's not texting me, so I don't. I mean, you and I are both stuck here for right now. I can't leave either. I don't know if he's talking to them right now or not, so we'll have to wait for him to come back here. I don't know. No, I said he might be talking to them now. I don't know.
Yeah, but do you think they're taking you away?
I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen. I really don't. It's not something I can. Oh, there he is.
Sorry.
You're okay. She just was worried about her parents and where they were.
That's where I've been talking.
I told her you probably were talking to them.
I've been talking to your parents.
Okay.
I haven't told them what we talked. I didn't tell them anything that we talked about today.
Yeah, I didn't tell them.
I didn't tell them literally anything that we talked about today. I just told her that your dad, I said, like I told you when I first called you, we had more questions that came up as a result of the coroner's investigation. I said, we're speaking with Skylar. I said, she's being honest. I said, still just a very remorseful remorseful. You probably do. Sorry, I just want to make sure you know that. Very remorseful young woman, and still a scared girl. I said, this is being honest. She's helping answer a lot of the questions that, resulted as a result of the examination from the doctors. And I said, the stuff she is, she's helping us understand. So, and that's where we are.
She just has expressed that she wanted to tell them, what she shared with us.
And then I said, you're 18 years old. If you were still 17, but you were close. This would be a completely different situation. That's what I was telling your dad. I said, I'm sorry, it's not. I don't have a reason to tell him that. And you've earned the right because you're 18 years old and you're Annabelle's mom. You have the right to be the one, to do that. And I know that it's going to be hard. I know that, I'm sure. But
how do you want to do that here? Like, do you want her to talk to them and tell them? Like,
we could do a home?
She's asking you how you want.
I'm asking you if you wanted to do it here with.
No, I want to go home and tell them.
Okay, so you don't want to do it here. Okay, I'm just asking. I would want to do it here because I wouldn't want to be alone with them. But yeah, I was just curious. Okay. So, do we have a plan from here?
I had a water bottle in that night, Pepsi, so I'm going to step out to the restroom. Just for that's my immediate plan. I'm sorry.
Do you want some water or
if
anything?
that's too much information, but I'll be right back. I
Okay.
have to step into this.
All right. I know. That'll get better. Just fine. I really want you to hold on to the knowledge, though, that you did the right thing and you told everything. I think that's far more important than anything else, because you have to look at that. If you would have lied and continued to not tell the truth and, not really put everything to rest, you would have to look at that, That's important. This is the right thing. For Annabelle, ultimately for you, for your family, so that they know what happened. And for you, so you don't have to look at that all by yourself. It's a lot to hold on to with no one else knowing. I think it might have eventually made it really hard. Just keep it all inside.
I was crazy. I love my baby.
I won't give her notice. That's all up to a judge. I don't make those decisions either.
What is happening? There.
Well, it depends on what you're charged with. I don't know. You see what I'm saying? Like, I don't know what charges there would be and all of that. I mean,
Can I be here for life?
I don't think so. Can't. Like your whole life? Like forever until you die? I don't think so. Seems really unlikely. But none of that is up to me. That's all up to the judge. But you'll have an opportunity to talk to. The person that makes those decisions, Skylar, you'll have a chance to talk to. I think you already know that you're not going home. We just got the answers. So my question for you is, you've been so cooperative with us. We want to extend you every courtesy. Do you want to talk to your parents here before you go? Do you want to do that, or do you just want to wait and talk to them later? It's totally up to you. I don't. That's up to a judge. Like I told you, I'm not BSing you. All of these decisions from here on out are up to a judge. So when you get out, all those kinds of things. But my question right now, which we can control, is, do you want to have a conversation with your parents so that they understand why you're going, or do you not? It's up to you. You're 18. You can do whatever you want to do. Do you want to talk to them here? We would be in the room just because we have to make sure everybody's safe. Do you want to talk to them here, or do you just want to have a conversation with them later? That is up to you. No one's judging you, whatever you decide to do. I mean, if you want to talk to them, the problem is if you want to talk to them, they're going to want to know why you're going to jail. We have not told them anything. You are 18.
Yeah, I have not
We have
you. I
not
haven't told your
them
mom and dad.
They know nothing. They don't know you're going to jail. So.
All I told them that there was more evidence through the forensic examination, just like I told you when we started. I said, and Skylar's being honest. I feel like she's being honest with us. That's all I told him. I said,
that's why we wanted to know if you want to talk to them or not. Or we can just tell them that we can't tell them anything because you're 18 and that you're going to. They're going to see. I mean that. I'm just asking you because they're going to see it eventually. You know how the news is. You know how they've already been. They're ridiculous. So they're going to see whatever they decide to charge you with. They're going to see that. So it's up to you if you want to have that conversation over the phone when you're in jail, or if you want to have it here before you go. We're just asking what you want to do. It's up to you. We could tell them whatever you want us to tell them. We're not going to really tell them anything because you're 18, but it's up to you if you want to talk to them here, or you want to just, they can find out later.
Before they took me, or, that's...
You can tell them as little or as much. You're 18, so you can say, I'm done, I don't want to talk anymore, I just wanted to say goodbye, and then we'll make them leave if you want.
What will be that trial?
That's all down the road.
Oh, yeah, you're thinking so far ahead,
That's way down.
Will it be in prison all that while?
No, it's your...
In jail?
No, what's going to happen is you'll see a judge in a couple of days, okay?
What is today?
Today's Thursday.
She will see a judge at Franklin Court tomorrow, probably, because they have Friday.
Yes.
You will see a judge tomorrow.
So you'll be able to talk-ish to a judge tomorrow. He'll decide if you're going to stay in jail or not. And then there'll be a series of court things that happen after that, okay? It's not all immediate, but it's always up to the judge when you're going to get out of jail, okay? But you will talk to a judge tomorrow, okay?
I just want to say goodbye.
You want to say goodbye? Okay, where are they at now? Get them.
I'll do it.
You get them? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. One day at a time, okay? One day at a time. Waiting for
You think the judge will be nice?
Judges are usually just pretty, especially the first time you talk to him, it's really going to be very, his job is to make sure, these are what your charges are, do you understand those? That's going to be his role, and then, figuring out what to do from there. So it's not going to be a long thing tomorrow. It'll be pretty quick. And then the hearings after that once you get an attorney and, you know, all the court system, if, you know, whatever happens, then things will be a little bit different. So, it's a whole process that happens.
Would the judge possibly let me come home?
Yeah, sometimes they'll do like, you have to put up a, you know, bond, like your parents have to put up bond. The judge decides all of that. He might have you be like, I don't know, there's people with like monitors on their ankles. Sometimes he does that. Sometimes you're on house arrest. Sometimes, you know, there's all kinds of things that can happen. You know, he can release you, he can keep you. He can tell you where you are allowed to go and not go if you are released, all those kinds of things. So there's a whole host of things that the judge can do, and he pretty much makes those decisions and tells you what you have to do. They're jail clothes. They're not prison. They're just like scrubs. You've seen scrubs before? Yeah, they're just scrubs, different colored scrubs. They'll do all that when you get there. Do you have anything in your pockets that you want your parents to take, like anything at all? Jewelry that you want them to take? No, they'll make you take all your jewelry off. So if you don't want to take it in there, you want to give it to your parents, I would do that. Just because that looks like nice, real gold stuff. So give them any jewelry you have, and because they're going to take your property and put it in a bag and put it in a locker, but I just wouldn't want anything that meant a lot to me to go there. Just make sure your pockets are empty and all that kind of stuff. There's nothing in there. Nothing hidden in your bra. It's in Lebanon. You ever been to juvenile court or like get fingerprinted or anything like that? Did you get fingerprinted to work at the Y? Okay. It's just down in Lebanon, like where all the government buildings are. So you have to get a passport? Okay. So you go to the building where you got your passport, right? On the opposite side of the street, kind of behind the small building is where the jail is. If they ever come to Franklin Court. I can't remember, but one of the two will happen. Either take you up in a bus, or you'll see them on a video monitor sometime tomorrow. I just can't remember what time theirs are. I want to say 11, but I think that's county court. How full they are and where they have space. Sometimes, like, parts of the jail are just like individual, like, cells or rooms. Parts of it is like a dorm, like where you have rooms and you have like a big common area. So it really just depends on where they have room to put you. I don't know how many females are in there right now. So initially you'll probably go in like one of those rooms where it's just you, kind of for like the intake stuff, and then they'll figure out where they're going to put you. I think they're going to make sure that you're safe. We always try to make sure people are safe. You're young, so it really keeps you. That's great.
From my department, Brandy, who's been here with me today, she is in here with us. What happens is
You take my jewelry from me? Okay. You guys later, hopefully?
Honey, tell us what's going on. He says you have to tell us you're 18. You can't tell us.
I tried to cremate the baby just a little.
You tried to cremate the baby?
Yeah, and then I didn't anymore. Well, not gonna do that.
So you delivered a live baby, is that what you're saying?
Yeah, but I wasn't really sure. I didn't think she was going to think she had a heartbeat. I love you.
We still love you, but this is a horrible mess.
Yeah.
I love you.
Everybody, I love them. And Jackson, I love him. He's the best buddy ever. So great as a brother. I'm going to be.
She absolutely has to go. She absolutely has to go to jail.